I've created like a 6-module blueprint. So starting with the artist development and the branding concepts, all the way to business logistics.
Yep.
And the reason why I did that is because I felt like I was spreading myself thin and I couldn't actually teach everybody everything that I knew. So the next best course was spending the last year basically dissecting my brain and putting it all into a coherent blueprint that they can follow. And
good for you.
Yeah, thank you. My whole mindset behind it, though, is we need to definitely encourage self-management and self-reliance a little bit more so that, you know, these guys know how to run the business end of things. Who knows how many people they're going to come across that either work or don't work out, but it's kind of just saving them a lot of time with trial and error and just giving them the game right up front. So, I mean, there's so many aspects to that, and I know you know the game, and I'm sure you've had your fair share of trials and tribulations in this industry.
No, for sure.
Do you want to maybe start by telling us, like, where you started?
I started touring and working on music in Canada.
Okay.
In Nelson, British Columbia, very small little town, but it's filled with artists in a really interesting valley in the East Kootenays. So I moved there from Europe. I was born over in Europe, so Germany, Italy, back and forth. So I moved there with my mom when I was a young kid. Didn't know English, had to learn it there. But yeah, that being said, I started doing music in Nelson after. It was kind of part of learning the language.
Yeah.
Music, studying, listening to hip hop. You know, I was like, okay, what are they saying? So I was kind of learning what they were saying and then learning at school. So it was kind of a fusion of it all. And then naturally I started doing music there in Nelson, just like had some shitty equipment, started recording myself on old tape cassettes. I used to like make my own beats on a little keyboard and then press record on a tape cassette to rap over it while I'm making beats on a keyboard. I'm dating myself because that's old school.
I mean,
but,
I remember those days for sure. They're not doing that stuff now, but that definitely took a lot of effort and like craftsmanship for sure.
But that's what this is all about. It's all about effort. Yeah. So I'm thankful to have had to do that because it was harder back in the day to just have access to recording or whatever. Now it's even easier. And I mean the generation before me even harder. But yeah, it just taught me how to like work hard and just do whatever you have to do to get to where you want to be, which is essentially sounds like what you're doing. So, or it sounds like that's the modules that you're offering, you know? So, But yeah, Nelson, BC started in Canada, started with just writing and recording and just studying hip hop, studying music, falling in love with hip hop and just having it become part of my existence. And I linked up with a couple older guys in Nelson, BC, and they were like 4 or 5 years older than me. I was maybe 13, and then we started this local hip-hop night in Nelson. There was nothing like that of the sort. 15,000 people in that place. So we had a local hip-hop night every Thursday, and that's where I started rehearsing my material that I would write and record. And then I started tracking with these older guys that became really good friends of mine. And yeah, that's how I honed my craft every Thursday, either freestyling or rehearsing new material. And I was 13, 14 in a bar, you know, with older people. So I wasn't allowed to leave the stage. That was a law. I don't know if that still is like that if you're underage. But yeah, I was in the bars and clubs really early. And since there was a lack of hip hop scene or whatnot, we just kind of created it. So from early on, I was kind of just a do it yourself type of guy, which has served me well till now.
Yeah.
Shout out to Nelson, BC though.
In your journey, what would you say was like the hardest part to navigate on your own?
Hardest part to navigate on my own was just, I think, being seen, you know. I come from the internet era, but pre-social media and all that. So it was like, how can I be seen? How can I be heard? And how can I get fans, basically? Living in a small rural town before social media became a prominent thing and all that. That was very difficult. How am I going to get fans other than the people that come to these local hip-hop nights that I have? So, you know, I decided to move to Vancouver, bigger city. I got to do it, right? I moved to Vancouver. I'm actually in Europe right now, but that is my home base. That was the biggest thing is how do I get noticed? And, you know, the internet is so cool because you can be super talented. You do a few videos. If you're lucky, you blow up on TikTok or whatever. IG was there a little bit before that. But you can just do anything from your bedroom, even if it's poor quality, you can just be seen all over the planet and get millions of views. You know, it takes some luck and talent to get there. A couple of things that have to all work in unison.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it was like, yo, okay, this is a small little town. I got to get out of here. I got to move to the big city, and then what do? I got to enter every freestyle rap competition. I got to find every open mic night in the city. I got to hit up every cipher that there is. I got to hit up everything where there's people, where they can see me, where I can learn and hone my craft. It was the hardest thing to be noticed, but it was also the best thing for me, because now all that work of working crowds in different scenarios, clubs, street corners, freestyle battles, cutthroat shit, it just made me a seasoned MC vet artist. I use that anywhere I go now. I feel comfortable in any setting, whether I'm rocking for 5,000 people, 30 people, or 500 people. All that I did to be seen or to get heard is my foundation now, you know?
That's a pretty solid foundation. Really putting yourself out there before the internet became such a prominent tool. I find the game's completely different now with that. Like, all you have to do is post and boost. Or
Facts.
What would you say came the easiest? I mean, besides making the music, what came the easiest for you?
Came the easiest for me, I think, the performing aspect. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, you can always get better technically, but the actual element of performance, I've never really got super nervous or had any problems with public speaking. Even in school, the kid have to come to the front of the class to do a speech or whatever. I love that. So I think public speaking and doing something in front of a crowd, small or big, was always the easy thing for me. I know a lot of people struggle with that, and that's the hardest part. They're like vomiting before the set.
Yeah.
It's funny because I get more anxiety now before a show because I'm sober. So I used to just drink a lot and party before the shows, but it'd be sloppier, I'm sure. Now the performance is, it's like so tight and perfect. I felt like a natural performer. My father's side of the family, my father's a musician, a lot of music on that side. So I think it was just in my blood to be an entertainer and perform and be okay with that. So I think that was the easiest part for me.
I always say this to my artists, being a recording artist and being a performing artist are two different things. Like,
oh, for sure. You got to amalgamate the both, and then you're a beast.
Yeah, for sure. I think the next part we could take this into is maybe talk a little about what strategies you could give on networking.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's such a different era now. So I'm still learning, you know, like every 6 months, technology changes and just the vibes change of how people go about their business. You know what I mean? And then every year, every 10 years, 5 years, it just gets so drastic. So I'm playing catch up all the time myself too. But if there's anything will stay consistent is communication. I mean, we're in a people business, you know. Yes, we do arts. Like, as an artist, I'm focusing on me and my stories, or stories I hear, telling them. But to get them heard, essentially you got to sell those stories, you know. So how do you sell those stories? Is by communicating. Like I said, I got to go rampant on social media nowadays, obviously, to show people and make them interested, whether you have personal tidbits, snippets of the song, whatever. There's so many creative ways of announcing what you're doing. But ultimately, we're in a people business. I have MCs write me, rappers write me, yo, man, I see you're having a show here. Like, I'll open. It's like, first of all, I don't even like that. Are you hitting me up? I'll open. Who are you? Like, I don't know you. You know what I mean? I hate that. I hate people in my DMs. Like, I get it. Like, you're taking a roll of the dice. It's a gamble. Like, I respect it. But at the same time, I always tell them, you know what? Come to the show without begging to be on. You know what I mean? And just come. And come and shake my hand and say who you are and meet me, and let's have a 10-minute conversation, because I'll remember you then. Then I'll be like, oh, you rap? Word. And then that person that came and talked to me and gave me daps and just maybe said something nice, or just like talked to me for 10 minutes about anything, that person will move up like 10,000 spots versus the people in my DMs being like, yo, I see you're in Toronto. Let me open. It's like, let you open. I don't even know who you are, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's a people business. Absolutely. Make yourself personable and like be humble, be respectful, and show love, and go to the events and go to the things. Even if you're not on the bill, go and build with people, whether they're bigger than you or just a bit bigger than you or smaller. Just go build with everyone and network. Doesn't mean you have to work with those people, but if you go to all of it as much as you can, your opportunities to be seen in the physical form are going to outweigh all the shit that you get through a DM. 100%.
Definitely a more personable approach.